What's up, podcast family? Welcome to the Nothing I'm Found podcast. This is the podcast where we heal out loud, take up space, and speak truth. I am DM, the street evangelist. And before we get started with this episode, I first want to thank you, all right? Because you could have chosen any podcast to be a part of. You could have chosen any host to lead you today, but yet you have taken some time out to trust me to guide you through this conversation as you learn how to heal out loud, take up space, and speak truth. I have a special guest and a special episode for you today, right? We are at the Vivid Barber Lounge, right? Where a friend of mine who I have grown to love since I have joined the church that I attend has been cutting me. And so I asked him a couple of months ago, could we do a podcast? And I was actually eager at the task of taking it off campus. But growth happens when you push yourself. And so here we are today, and a shameless plug. He's located at 113 Rogers Street. Yeah, Rogers Street, right? And so come see Chris, right? But also, if you need somebody to have somebody who needs to get their nails done, come see Miss Russia, right? She'll get your feet right, toes right, everything right. But as we go into this episode, I want to thank, my challenge for you is that you listen. Greatness leaves clues. I learned this from entrepreneurs, that greatness leaves clues. It's up for you to look for them. We'll give you the game, we'll give you the information, but it's only up for you to have some resiliency, faith in Jesus, but also a resilient work ethic to look for the clues and then apply it for to your life. And so you're going to be with me as I'm getting my hair cut. And so come on, Chris.
What's happening, y'all?
First, thank you for opening up your shop for this podcast, for this unique opportunity. As we are, podding in the community, right? And as we are healing out loud, taking up space and speaking truth. So the first question that I would probably want to ask is, one, how long have you been barbering? And what led you down this path?
Cool. So I've been professionally barbering for 10 years now.
Okay.
I started back in 2006. I graduated 1 year, 2 hours and 30 minutes later. I started February 23rd.
Yeah.
I graduated February 23rd. 1 year later at 10:30. I started at 8 o'clock in the morning. So about 10:30, that was 1 year, 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Bro.
So that's how that happened.
Well, that meant that you actually wanted it that bad, because I actually gave my life to Christ January 28th around noon. I got baptized February 11th around high noon 2018. And so you were serious about your education, because you could talk it down to the actual hour, minute, and the day.
Oh yeah. I was very sleepy, very sleepy. I was working like night shift at a not a youth arts program, but a youth program with troubled youth.
Okay.
And boy, I was real sleepy in school half the time.
So it's easy to assume that you messed up a lot of people's hairlines for free.
No sir. No sir. We was just in school. It was. We were able to take some haircuts, give some haircuts away. I didn't have to do everything.
Yeah.
Some haircuts that I wanted to do, I did. Some that I didn't want to do, I didn't do.
Yeah.
A lot of times I was able to run away from some of the stuff that I didn't want to do, because I was actually one of the people that wanted to do other things. So like, they're like, oh, there's a black guy in here, man. He needs a nice bald fade. Cool. Go get Sarah to get him, because I'm over here learning how to do a perm. I'm learning how to do a curly perm right now.
Yeah.
I'm not doing no bald face.
Yeah. So you knew exactly what you was good at.
Yeah, I knew exactly what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I only did exactly what I needed to do.
So as we are, this is episode 26 when it airs, right? And so we've been you know, like just podding just for some time. Like, you know, so help us to understand, like, what inspired you to go down this path? Like, is this a purpose thing for you, or like, how did you get to becoming a barber?
So,
Because I know you, well, I first met you as a musician,
right.
and I've had this experience that I don't think that, this is me, musicians have work ethic outside of, or drive outside of music. And so you're probably the first one who actually has, like, who's an entrepreneur doing something outside of just beating drums.
Right. Cool. Yeah. So what was the question again?
So, did you always know that you was going to be on this path of being a barber?
I did not always necessarily know that I was going to be a barber, but I did enjoy barbering when I was in college. My mama kept on sending me money, and she's like, "Listen, I ain't got all this money to be sending you up at this college. Okay, I'm gonna send you about $150, and I'm gonna need you to work this out for about a month."
For $150 for a month?
Listen, my mama already knew that I was getting allocated. So I was in the band. So I was in the band at K-State. I played trumpet.
Okay.
So every week we traveled. So we getting $50 to $70 or something a week to travel.
What?
So we go to Tuskegee, we getting like $60, $75.
That's a steal.
Yeah. So on a Saturday, we can't work. We're in band. So we can't work. That's our job. So they allocate us out when we travel. So my mom knew that I was getting a little bit of money in there, but I was doing more. I wasn't budgeting my money. I was go to the store and get this, that, and other.
College lifestyle.
My mama sent me some money, and she said, "You gotta make this money work out." And I was trying to be fly. I was trying to, trying to holler. So I was like, "All right, man, I gotta make this money work." So I took my money. I went to Sally's. Got me a pair of clippers, a pair of trimmers. They got me some spray.
Okay.
Took it back to campus, and I said, "I got $5 cuts. I'm in the lounge. What's up?" And they came.
Oh wow! So it was basically you stumbled into this based on necessity and survival, right? So I hear a lot of entrepreneurs, those who get out, they always talk about how it was always them being in the pinch that led them down their path of whatever it is that they are doing, or what led them down this journey of entrepreneurship.
Right.
When I was younger, I was a part of a criminal organized crime. Right. And so I learned entrepreneurship from that way. And as I'm being more legit and doing things the legit way, I've had so many lessons, so many wins, so many losses. Right, but I want to start here. Like, what is as an entrepreneur and musician, what is probably to date your biggest success, or the thing that you're proud of most being in this industry?
What I'm proud of the most in this industry
that you've accomplished.
That I've accomplished. Well, I think what I've accomplished, I think really, some people don't really like the conversation when it comes to like Michael Jordan and LeBron.
Talk about it.
Okay, so I'm not gonna go down that road too deep. Yeah. But I will say this: I think longevity of things also is a marker for success and how well you're doing. Yeah. Sometimes you can compare yourselves to other people or other things or other entities. Yeah. But when you look at it, sometimes people have really good short runs, and then some people have really good just longevity. Yeah. They're able to work it out. Yeah. They may not be the coldest, they may not be the worst, but they somewhere in the middle, and they just keep moving. Yeah. I think what I can say is I think the part where we keep moving. Me and my wife, we keep things afloat, we keep things moving. This shop was supposed to be trying to be shut down in like a month with of it being open. So
talk about
okay.
Talk about that, please.
Okay, so we opened up Vivid Barber Lounge on 4th Street in 2020.
4th Street Live?
No, not 4th Street Live, 4th and up. Okay. We opened up, we signed contract in February, supposed to be open December 1st. What year? 2020.
Okay.
2020. Okay. We opened up, we opened the contract in February, supposed to be open December 1st. What year? 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020 Well, we had a lot of issues with a lot of the things that was going on. There was a lot of landlord issues. There was a lot of things with the power, lights, all the things,
Yeah.
right? But we get everything situated. We get ready to get open. We open. Within the first month in January, within like the first couple of weeks of January, our windows was busted out 3 times over a weekend.
Oh wow.
Over one weekend.
Oh wow.
You know, not much really came from it. You know, there was a little bit of community help. There was a lot of community help in the area and stuff. But that was a very tough thing to have to deal with, having boarded up windows and you are a month and a half open into your shop that you are on a 3-year contract to fulfill.
So okay, then so help me to see the thing that you're most proud of. Like after you had those hiccups in the beginning of landlord, electrical, and windows being busted out. Like break it down to now. You're saying that
I think what I'm most proud of is having the longevity of being open and staying afloat and staying in the community. We have been able to really meet a lot of really amazing people, and a lot of people have been amazing to us, and we've been able to live and do things that, you know, we can only dream of some things that we want to do, but we actually get to live out some of our things through what we're doing right here. We get to go on vacation and the sorts off of doing exactly what we love right here.
Yeah.
So I think that is my biggest accomplishment, is being able to stay in the game, being able to stay in the game and work through this thing. Even, you know, there's a lot of hard, you know, times, but me and my wife, we make, you know what I'm saying, all the sacrifices and we make everything happen.
one, thank you for sharing, right? And I want to thank you for what you do. You know, in our community that, you know, barbering is more than just about getting your hair cut, right? You know, like this is, you know, you all have access to, you know, people's stories, their testimony, like, this is therapy.
Yeah.
This is a concert. This is your, you know, you get news here.
Yeah.
So, you know, and so I thank you for, you know, over the 6 years where you and your wife have, you know, kept these doors open to fight, because you all have helped a tremendous amount of people just by sometimes sitting and listening, right? Like being present, you know, taking up space, speaking truth to power. You know, one of the moments that moved me here was when a gentleman, well, recently, you know, there was a gentleman who you were cutting, and he made a comment, and I saw your demeanor shift, right? I'm not going to, you know, dive deep into it, but I saw you, one, remain curious, and you asked him, so what is it? And in context, he was talking about somebody who was neurodivergent, who sometimes was compulsive, and he, you know, demonstrated a lack of compassion, right? And you checked him, and so I really want to thank you for, you know, like over all of these, you know, the 6 years that you all have been open, that you have, you know, I believe, you know, like just knowing your character, being a stand-up guy, you've been supportive, you've been encouraging, and I know that to me, this is ministry too. Right? You know, like this is real ministry, and this segues into then one segment where, you know, this is the Heal Out Loud segment, and so this segment is really about men, you know, being vulnerable as men, right? You know, we talked about your success. We talked about you know, and your longevity, you being open for, you know, 6 years, facing all of the, you know, challenges, you know, of an initial startup, stepping out on faith, you being, you know, here, you know, just everything that comes with entrepreneurship. What is the one, like, did you think that you could, like, that you would be here?
Did I think that I would be
like still opening, like business open? Like, was there ever a moment that you questioned like, I don't know if this is going to work out?
So, Faith said that I was going to be here, but the reality sometimes is like, bro, I don't know how.
Break it down.
This is
Like,
what I mean by that is, I think there are times that we have moments where we want to give up on something, but we know we can't give up on something.
Yeah.
I think there's times that we ask for a mission, we get the mission, and the mission is more dangerous than what we were expecting.
yeah,
So we just didn't have enough equipment. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we don't have enough equipment
Yeah.
to deal with what, you know, if you getting ready to go camping and you expected them to have a propane grill out there, but all it is sticks and you got a little device that you gotta, you know, make the fire yourself.
Yeah.
If you're not equipped with the knowledge of how to do that, it's gonna be very hard for you to eat dinner that night. So a lot of times I'm thankful that I'm able to have more challenges so that I can be more equipped. The more challenges I have, the more I'm equipped to deal with the next situation.
yeah. No, your mindset is imperative, and I want to, really give to you what I heard. So, some of the lows of being in entrepreneurship and doing this ministry is that when you started off, you didn't have what you needed.
Right.
Is that correct?
Right.
And
We had a lot of faith in a couple of, we had what we had.
yeah,
We did it.
right. So then I would ask, faith in what though?
So
Faith in who? Faith in what? Like, you break it down. Faith in.
When I say that I had faith, so I had faith that God was going to work it out, but I didn't put enough of my own effort.
Lean into it.
So we're leaning into that. So what I'm gonna say is that you can be set up to have everything set up right, except for having yourself set up. You can have everything set up right. You can have LGE set everything up, but that don't help you with mindset. It don't help you that once things have gotten hard, it doesn't. You have to learn how to go through the emotions of entrepreneurship. You really have to. There's ups and downs, but I think that when you're less prepared, the ups and downs the ups only seem so high, but the lows feel really, really low. We say ups and downs. I mean, you think of up and down as like level playing field, and a trampoline. You go this high, you come back down here. You go this high, you come back down. No. I'm not talking about them highs and lows.
Okay.
I'm talking about highs and lows. Like you're on the ground.
Yeah.
No, you're not on the ground. You're on the porch. You got to jump up off the porch to get that high, and then the ground that's below the porch is a lot lower than where you started from.
Amen. So so entrepreneurship ministry comes with low places.
It comes with low places, and those low places will teach you and tell you who you are. It really will.
Before we even talk about what it's like to the low place, because I know you as your cups always have full. You are extreme. Your mindset to me is top tier, especially in keeping a growth mindset, positive mindset. I want to know though, as a man, what was it like being low? Because, and so here's why I want to say this. So growing up, my dad worked at Wayne Supply. My dad wanted my mom my mom wanted to stay home to raise the kids, so my dad made it happen. Well, with his work ethic and the Lord provided. Now, my dad was working at Wayne Supply, and he was also working as a HVAC man after work. A 9 to 5 gives you structure. It gives you predictability. It takes a lot of risk and responsibility off of you, right? Mm-hmm. I think about if my dad would have failed at providing for me, because I was in middle school when he came into my life, but then my sister came, and so it's me to feed, my sister to feed. Then he gave birth, or then he helped procreate with my mom to give me my second sister, and it's my mom. So there's 4 mouths to feed before food gets to him. I think that the weight of leading a family and doing what he has done took a toll on him. And I think about like my mom, how she wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, but she didn't make that adjustment. And like knowing that the entrepreneur, it's not the same as having a 9-to-5. And so I saw my dad, personally speaking, emotionally, be more like how disappointments hit him differently than my mom. So how did your low moments and and so there were moments in which my dad did jobs, right?
Right.
He had to wait for the people to pay him.
Right.
Bills are still coming in.
Right.
As a man, you still got to provide. You still got to take care of your family. How did you navigate, or like, what was the low moments like for you as a man, leading your family and being a Christian?
The low moments. They had their. Some of the low moments were low because of just the situation at hand.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was out of my control. It was out of our control. It was things that. Some of it was things that we did not create. We did not actually create the issue that landed us in the situation.
Okay.
All I can do is figure out a solution. Mm-hmm. So some of those lows come when you have something like, you've done everything you're supposed to do, right? Did everything you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Now you say, well, I'm gonna go over and do the other right things. You give them the right things, then they come back and say, oh no, we can't do this. And then you have to figure out the next steps or the next plan. I think that the low moments really came from, I think how I dealt with those low moments, I think I don't really remember actually a lot of the low moments actually. I remember them, but they're not as vivid as I would think because they were low.
Yeah. So I'm glad you said that. I just went to therapy yesterday, and I'm not going to die on this podcast, but I will practice healthy self-disclosure. I used the T word, and it was, triggered. And I expressed to my therapist that when I was like growing up, anger is what fueled me. My early years of striving to make it, at being socioeconomically disadvantaged, marginalized, and growing up in a disenfranchised community, anger is what drove me. It got to a point where I came into Christ, and He slowly took away my anger. And what used to drive me didn't drive me, and I found myself being driven by my emotions. But in low moments, I found myself numbing myself to get through it.
Right.
And so if you ask me how I felt, I may tell you, I don't know, because I was numb. I'm not projecting onto you, but I'm just more curious. Do you do that when you are in low moments as a man, like numbing yourself to get to the end?
Well, I don't think it's as much numbing myself as much as there was a lot of moving pieces. A lot of the moving pieces were not internal. A lot of the stuff was like, I'm talking about this stuff. Some of the stuff is like court stuff. So like, so we have to deal with like court and stuff like that. So like these are, as I'm saying, like this is not just like, oh man, I don't know how the lights look. We got that covered. We got that covered. The lights part's covered. What's not covered is knowing if our setup to have the lights is legal.
Oh, wow.
We got the lights on and we pay them. We just don't know if the setup.
And so when y'all being hit with fines?
No, it wasn't necessarily that we was getting hit. Well, no, it wasn't getting hit with fines, but we were getting hit with unnecessary bills that were not. We didn't contribute to those. What was coming to us.
Okay. So almost like you inherited a bad problem.
Yeah, I didn't inherit it. I signed on to a problem that I wasn't equipped to know what I know now what I didn't know then.
Yeah, that's good.
I wasn't fully equipped at the time to know how to handle and deal with it and how to whatever. Now I know.
How long did it take for you to overcome those challenges? Because you said a 3-year contract, this stuff is happening in the beginning. So that's a
Yeah. So
that's
how
a-
did I, so in the duration of even on 4th Street, that was just we muscled through it. Once we got here, things got better. We're still growing and we're still, but I think we are in a way better like environment. We're progressing. Like, we're progressing.
Yeah.
It's not a cloud. You know what I'm saying? It's not. You know, we're what is it? Almost 7:30. We used to lock the door. You know, what I'm saying? It's like such a deal. Like everybody is able to come and just enjoy themselves.
yeah.
I think that I feel like it feels lighter. I feel like not just the location or whatever. I just feel like it just feels lighter. Like I feel like everybody can feel the lightness. Everybody can feel like this love. Everybody can feel the environment shift and like the greatness that comes out of this place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. So it's growing up in so it's almost like if you ever grown up. So you know how lamps. Well, I don't know about you, but I used to stay with my granny.
Pass that, my granny.
When my mom couldn't afford to live on her own, so we stayed with my granny. My granny used to have these lamps. People don't use lamps no more. And these lamps had this shade that that would keep the light from actually shining its brightest in these environments, right?
Right.
So it's almost like 4th Street was the shade that sort of kept the light from shining the brightest. So whenever you made that shift, and you were probably 3 years of it, right?
Well, it was like 2 and some change.
2 and some change?
2 and some change.
So 2 years and some change, then you remove the shield from the light and it's shining bright.
Right.
Then that helps me to ask you this question. How does your faith in Jesus, or, at this moment in time, do you have a business mentor? And then 2, do you have someone who is discipling you through this, journey of your life?
During the time?
Yes, during the time.
No.
There
There was like some slight help in the conversations, but not fully the way I needed to.
Okay.
I even had contacts, but some of those contacts, when you in the pickle, you don't really want to, you don't want to tell somebody, hey man, I'm going through something, I need a little help. You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So, that's honest God truth, and some of that, I'm saying, that was, and sometimes it's like, I'm not about to go over there and show my face in shame, like I need help.
So what would you call that then?
That's probably, just ego. I mean, you get over those things, you
sure.
say you deal with them or whatever, but
Yeah.
in the beginning, you don't necessarily like it.
So before we move forward, I do want to share with my audience that discipleship in its original language is, it means to learn. All right. A disciple is a learner from Christ. If you go to Luke chapter 14, verse 25 through 27, and we're talking about discipleship, Jesus tells the multitudes, those who are with him, that unless you hate your father and your mother, your brother and your sister, your wife and your children, and yes, even your own life, you cannot be his disciple. Second part is that if you do not bear your cross, if you do not follow him, you cannot be his disciple. I'm not telling you that, so I want to pause and say that being saved is different from being discipled. Your salvation helps you to eventually get discipled, but salvation and discipleship is different, because salvation says in Romans 10:9 that whoever confesses with their mouth that Jesus Christ is Lord and believe in their heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved, right? That is salvation. Discipleship is you learning from God. So God can still save you, but still not be the one teaching you. Sometimes it could be you can be saved, and you're only allowing your pastor, your youth leader to teach you, or life to be your disciple. But in the Bible, we see that Jesus has the power to disciple, because Jesus goes actually against Jewish customs. Jewish custom is that the kids who wanted to learn, the kids determined who their rabbi was. But Jesus does something different. Jesus doesn't wait for the person to come and ask him to learn from him. He goes and seek them out. Sometimes God wants you to learn from him only. Sometimes God will lead you to get to a place in which he's the one who is teaching you. He is the one, but there are requirements to learn from him. And everybody has the potential to learn from him. Just because you aren't, that doesn't mean that you can't. But you do need to learn how to bear your cross. Your cross is a responsibility that God has given you. Right? That's your cross. Whatever burden God put on your body, put on your back to carry, that's your cross. Whatever the thing that crucifies your flesh, that kills your flesh, that is your cross. My cross is for me, the cross that I'm learning to carry is one, being a minister. That's the thing that burdens me the most, is being a minister. God calling me to be an elect minister. And it crucifies me because I have to kill my ego. I have to kill my flesh. The things that the flesh wants don't please the spirit. The things that pleases the flesh won't please the teacher sometimes. And so I wanted to pause and segue that so that we could set it straight about discipleship and its role, right? Because we are called to be like Jesus, right? Because in a different usage of the word, disciple means to be an imitator of Christ. And so after you learn, you must imitate. So shifting them back to the conversation as we discussing not reaching out, allow what ego getting in the way of you embracing discipleship and mentorship. Like, can you give me any advice for somebody who then identifies with you and saying, nah, bro, I got an ego, I figured this out on my own? Would you, if you had to do it again, would you still take the same approach and not reaching out to people and getting mentorship and even spiritual guidance?
If I had to even reach back, if I had to reach back and do that over again, I would either still not reach out to people, or I would reach out to different people.
Okay, so all right, so give me the scenario in which why you wouldn't reach out to people, but then tell me why is it that you would do it if you reached out to someone else? Like, because I've learned in research that I just did that most people aren't asked to, don't know how to ask, don't see the relevance or its importance. So I want to, or they've had a bad experience, or they don't want that level of relationship with somebody else. So break it down to me. I know I gave you a lot.
No, that's good. That's good. Again, some people are dealing on different scales. So even, here's what I mean by saying that I either would have not or someone else. The reason that I would have not is because I think that there is an element of there's an element in, even when you're having like a conversation even with like another barber.
Yeah.
Truly, really and truly, like it's hard to have like those conversations because sometimes you're solely having to know like who you're being vulnerable with. Do they have your best interest in mind?
Yeah.
Do they have something that they're gonna gain out of this? And you have to like weigh all those things. So either I would have either went and figured out a different route, or I would have figured out a different mentor. When I say different mentors, I would have figured out different mentors, maybe out of the city, out of town, out of the region. Yeah. Somebody has more knowledge in the same area, but in a different space.
Yeah.
In a different space. Because a lot of times you'll say, let's say you sell t-shirts, and I have a t-shirt for sale. You got a t-shirt for sale. I'm trying to get my t-shirts off the ground. I'm trying to get whatever. What are you doing with your t-shirts? But shit, I've been here I live here. These t-shirts is easy. All I do is put my name on these t-shirts, and these t-shirts sell.
Yeah, yeah.
It ain't about who got the t-shirt. Sometimes it's about like how you have to connect with more people to get your t-shirts off.
Yeah.
And so I think that I would have talked to somebody that was more established, that didn't just sell t-shirts, they sold jeans and hoodies too.
Yeah.
I would have talked to somebody just different in a different area, just doing the same thing, but just doing it at bigger scale, but not locally, because also we're fishing in the same pond.
Yeah. So what I hear, this is just me, or in my book, is that you would want to be discipled by somebody who's more mature.
Yeah.
So discipleship is about maturity. So you wanted someone who was more mature and further along you to basically give back game.
Yeah.
But then also who wasn't in the same lane as you, because that competition is still there.
Yeah.
So you are a competitor.
Yes.
So what I want the audience to get though is that discipleship, like those who discipled you, like they must be further along than you. They must be ahead of the curve. If you are having the same problems, more than likely they cannot help you to navigate.
Right.
Because you're supposed to be learning from them.
Right. Not problem solving together.
Exactly. So, and then you talked about, doing it not here. Actually, I actually have the same conflict now, me being in entrepreneurship, me being more legitimate. One of the challenges I have is because I'm competitive, and now that my cross is like I know what my cross is, and I'm learning how to follow God. I am competitive. Like I'm trying to annihilate the competition, right? Like I know that we are all on Team Jesus, but I'm trying to annihilate them. Yeah. I'm trying to out-preach them, out-study them, out-learn them, outlift them. Not to embarrass them, but because I believe in the power of a scoreboard. I like to be able to say, I'm top dog. That's just me.
I like a good leaderboard.
You know what I'm saying?
Ain't nothing wrong with the leaderboard.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. Like, there's nothing wrong with competition. But I'm actually currently struggling because I know I need help in navigating entrepreneurship, right? So I just, I have acronym production. Acronym Production is a media company that we handle all media, photography, videography, content creation, editing, right, for businesses, commercial and small organizations, but also within sports programs. I know that I'm learning. I don't know it all. I've learned it from a different place, but I can see how I need mentorship. I need discipleship, right? But then even spiritual advisors so that I can do it the right way. Because I picked up bad habits along the way, right? Like for me, I'm still navigating a organized crime, and and doing things legitimate. But there are moments where I'm like, yo, I can finesse this.
Yeah.
I can really cut corners. Like, I don't have to do things illegal. Like, I don't have to report everything. I don't have to be, use credit. Like, I can find ways around. Like, I can do cash. But I'm like, but I want to navigate it and be in right standing, because I believe that it's a different standard when you're doing it with God.
Yeah.
And you're doing it as a Christian. So then I would ask you then, as you were talking about, you would have this person out of town who's ahead of you, who's mentoring you, who's discipling you. Does it matter if they're a Christian or not? And they share Christian values, orthodox Christian values, and I mean basically what the Bible says is true.
Do they have to be? No.
Okay.
They do not.
Okay.
They do not.
Why not?
I believe that there's good information. I feel like there's good information that can come even if they don't believe in anything. I feel like they still could have good information on things that are black and white on paper that have, their salvation could be completely ruptured. And they still have, and they still know how to do it in the X's and O's, black and white. Yeah. Cross T's, dot I's. They still know how to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't necessarily have to even necessarily. I'm definitely not sitting down with somebody. They got a cross upside down and they just completely just. I'm saying I could deal with somebody in a business setting that's not in that lane. Yeah. To a degree,
okay.
But we not completely just throwing everything out.
Yeah. So, in my experience, and this is just me, gently, but listen, boy, you turn water into wine every week. Boy, you work miracle. Appreciate you. So, I want to push back some, or I actually want to stress the importance of discovering a leader or a discipler who shares Christian values, because it's about imitation. And Jesus ain't coming from the right from the throne today to come teach you, right? Because he already had his earthly ministry. He left the Holy Spirit, but also he left his word. But he's also sent leaders or those who we could be in community with to learn how to imitate him. And because learning is so intimate, learning from somebody is so freaking intimate, bro. Like, following somebody is so freaking intimate that if you get it, like, you learn good business, but you may miss or like they may give you something that is that works in the industry but don't work for the kingdom.
I think that's when you have to discern. Just like when you walked in, the gentleman that I was cutting. Yeah. I told you when I was in barber school, there was multiple people that was there. I had like 5 or 6 ladies that was coming to.
You sing water? It's 9:30 online.
What's that?
That's close to 9:30 online.
We were in the middle of right now. But what was it?
So we're talking about discerning what is good to learn. Well, so like, is it healthy to compartmentalize learning industry but missing God?
That's what I'm saying. So the gentleman that you saw me cutting when you walked in. Yeah. There was about 5 or 6 ladies that we was in school with that were in cosmetology school. The 2 or 3 that I learned from the most, spooky people. Like, not spooky like spooky, but like spooky enough that one girl had like she has like all the piercings. She had like her tongue was split. She could do like this number with the 2 different sides of her tongue. Yeah. One girl hangs she literally hangs from ropes and swings around crowds from her skin. Whatever. She don't believe in no kind of Jesus Christ, but she showed me how to do a layer cut. And I learned everything I needed to learn out of that layer cut. All that other bull, I left it alone. I could discern in what I needed to know and what I didn't need to know. I didn't let the girl touch me. She's like, oh, hey, Chris, don't touch me. I'm good.
Just
I'm
teach
good.
how to cut this layer.
You touch them, I'll learn. We ain't gotta do all that. But
Yeah.
no, like I'm just saying, I can discern what I need to keep and what I can throw away. But I don't throw the whole person away because they may have something that
That's
I need.
good. That's good. So I want to pause real quick because after we heal out loud, right? There's this thing called taking up space, and taking up space is about three things: performance, presentation, and presence. And you just hit it on the head and why taking up space matters. Because you just said something. Number one, you talked about discernment. It is for the Christian matter of fact, I'm gonna call you the student. It's imperative for the student to still practice and exercise discernment. Discerning what is good, what is usable for me, what can I take away from it, what can I apply from this, but then also what I'm not taking, so help me God.
Right.
And so you practice great discernment.
All I need from you, baby girl, is how to do this cut. That's it.
So then what determines what you are to learn from your teacher? Because some people believe that they need to learn everything from everybody to be great. So how do you practice and actually exercise discernment in the practical way where you say, here's what I need from you, but then also to say, here's what I don't need. And then whenever they try to teach you, you're like, hey, bro, I don't need this. And so let me frame it this way. How do you know what to learn from the person who's teaching you? Now, how do you hold the boundaries to tell them, I don't want to learn that from you? Such as how to swing, how to be, whatever it is that you believe in.
The best way in that situation is to, first of all, evaluate. So first of all, she was not the instructor. She was a student, just like I was a student in the situation. I can evaluate from afar to evaluate if I even need to be over there, even in your space.
Okay.
After I figure out she has good information, I was taking, let's say, 30 minutes on her haircut. She did 5 haircuts one time in the middle of me doing 1. Now, her haircuts didn't look like much, but I remembered that. Now I'm gonna fast forward you maybe 5 or 6 months later.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just, that happened that one time.
Yeah.
6 months later, we are graduated now. We are barbers on the street.
Yeah.
We are in a Instagram text thread. I kid you not, I think I told my wife. I got out of that, I was just joined back to that text thread maybe 2 years ago. And that was 10 years ago that we was in school.
Oh, wow.
I just got back in that text thread maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I took myself out of the text thread because the first week out of school, I made $75. And that girl that couldn't do a haircut the same way like she did, them 5 haircuts that didn't look like nothing. She made $1,800 that week.
How?
It didn't matter how good them 3 haircuts I did for $25 was.
Yeah.
It didn't matter how great they were in the grand scheme of it. She was butchering people, they loved the butchers, and she got $1,800 that week.
Yeah.
I took myself out the group.
Why?
My whole body couldn't take it. I could not take. Look at it. That I know the word. I know the everything. Can't do it.
So you're saying
I took myself out of that because I could not look at it. I said I did 3 haircuts at this, and I know what she does. But what I had learned from her was that she had a skill. She did whatever she was doing. She had a formula and it worked. And I took what I needed from her. Now I left the split tongue. Yeah. I left the septum piercing. I left the whatever else she had going on. They had things. Yeah. I just took what I needed.
Yeah.
And I said, thank you.
Gotcha.
And I would buy, I buy pop and they can have, they can have a couple sodas on it.
No, that's good, right? Because I want the audience to know, like, ministry leaders, I want the volunteer teachers, or those who are in the lay ministry, that like to know that like not everybody who's come like who shows up is showing up to get everything you know. Right? Like they're like some people are coming for a specific and particular piece of information. You have to trust their autonomy and but also not take offense if they get what you give them and they perfect it and they don't show up. Because your value as a teacher is only to what I've learned, your value as a teacher is in two parts. Number one, how much you value yourself. But also how successful your students are after they leave you. Because I see them now, albeit she had $1,800, in whatever span, and he had 75. He now owns his own shop.
She don't cut hair no more. She cut hair for 15 months.
You feel me? And so after you discern, it's also knowing. Then like you running your own race.
Yeah.
Right? You taking them, and so you're like, and so she may have had maybe a performance that was actually going back to the beginning. She ain't have longevity. She had a high peak.
She had a really nice run for a very short time.
Versus you,
Longevity.
It may have took some time, but you built the right way. You took the right information. You discerned who to learn from. You left what needed to be left. But now you own your own shop, and you are. I like to flex, and I like to see other disciples or other Christians, other believers, and entrepreneurs flexing. You are part of the reason why certain people got food on the table, because you created a space and an opportunity for somebody else to come in. Right? Like you was a trailblazer so that somebody else can eat off of you.
Yeah.
And that's what taking up space to me is about. It's about entrepreneurs, unlikely disciplers, creating being taking up space, them having presence, performance, and like the right presentation that they create space for somebody else to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like if you're not creating new opportunities for somebody else to eat, bro, I have a personal problem with you as a leader, because I believe leaders eat last. After a while, like after you do what you're supposed to do, like after you create that space, what good are you if you ain't helping somebody else?
Right.
Did somebody do that for you?
Yes.
Like, who created space for you over the years for you to eat off of their name?
I'm gonna tell you though, the one person that really comes to mind, shout out to my homie,
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
to my dog Dante Jones. That was when I first got out of barber school. I was working at Boys and Men Barbershop, St. Andrew Church meets Palaka.
Yeah.
Wherever, right there.
I'm familiar.
Yeah,
I'm familiar.
Yeah, so that's where I was at. I was over there, and he really did nurture like my willingness to be there. He gave me the opportunity, but a lot of the times I'm in this space because even when I first came out of school, this was his second shop. So he opened his second shop,
That's major.
He opened his second shop.
He's franchising?
So he opened his second shop, opened the doors, and basically was like, I'm downtown, like I'll be here like on the front side, it's all you. The weekend, it's all you. Like everything that comes in here is yours. He's like, if it gets overwhelming, you need somebody to come out here. He was like, I'll come out here. He would call me sometime on Saturday. He's like, what's it look like out there? Ain't nobody out here right now. He's like, okay, cool. He called me back in a little bit. He's like, is anybody out there? Nobody's out there. He's like, man, hold on a quick. He called a couple of his people. Hey man, some people came by. He said he called one person one day. He called somebody. He called his homeboy and said, hey man, go to the shop and go rap with Chris. He's like, go over and go sit with him and go buy a soda. So he came out, and he sat with me, and we was standing outside, and we was talking. He said, hold on, let me call somebody real quick. He called two people. Them people came and got a haircut because he called somebody that was over at his people's house 2 people came over to get a haircut. One of those people is still somebody that I still have connection with to today that still comes, not often, but he comes every once in a while. That is still a person that I still see. And from that connection from Dante, telling one of his clients and friends to just come over and sit with me, just so I wasn't sitting over there bored. And he come over there and bring a sandwich in a pot. He's like, hey man, Dante said, man, we're gonna come over here and chill, whatever. He came over and he called people. He literally got on his phone and called people to come sit. This is not his shop. This is his friend owns the shop. This is a friend of the shop owner that came over here.
But it's your shop though, because you're running it.
Basically, it's my shop because I'm running it, but he owns it. He has his friend. He got his friend to come over there to hang out with me and bring me something to eat, bring me a soda, and cause the people to come and get a haircut.
Did it ever grow? Like the shop?
Yes, it did. It's still open.
So like you was an integral part of that second location.
Yes.
Growing.
Yes. We did. Literally.
Yeah.
We did that door to door.
Oh, for real?
Hello, my name is Chris. I was just, we got a shop down the street.
Hey, yeah.
Holler at us. We called down there. Thank you, bud. Boom.
Oh, man.
Hey, my name is, we walked door to door. We did all the things. We did all the things.
What did it teach you? One, God rest his soul, right? Mm-hmm. That's dope. Right? Like that he saw something in you. That maybe you saw it in yourself. Like, did you ever see yourself at that time opening up the shop?
I'm gonna tell you what really peed me off at first, because he had a shop downtown that was jumping, and I kind of wanted to be at the other one because it was newer, but I kind of wanted to be at the other one because it was established already. He's like, you got it though. He's like, this. He's like, you got this. He's like, you got it out here. Now, eventually, there was, over time, I did have to go and, find more for myself and things. But it was a really, 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 really solid beginning. As much as it could have been better.
Of course, yeah.
It actually was all the meat and bones of everything that I needed to do this.
It prepared you.
Yeah, it did.
For this.
Yeah.
So So I want you to know, those who are leading, whether you want to or not, you have to create space for your strongest ones to lead. You cannot handicap them because of whatever it is in between your ears. You have to create space for your strong leaders who you see leading others, discipling others, multitudes. You have to bet on them. Like, you have to literally bet on them. And then, but also don't abandon them while you bet on them. You see, most people will bet on you and they'll take a gamble without supporting you. Mm-hmm. Still provide mentorship, still provide guidance, still check in. Tell somebody who will, show love to you, go show love to them, because they're on the up and up. Your impact outlives you when you give people that, you give them the baton and you help them to keep running, right? And so that's pretty dope. I can say, for me, the person who actually is giving me the game, right? 2 people. One, my current pastor, Anthony Middleton at Cable, teaching me how to be a pastor during preacher's meeting, but also living it out. But then secondly, it's Baron Davis. Right, he's my AP, and the opportunity's there to lead, to step up and to lead people in the marketplace. I can say that I've been very hesitant to do it because of, because of that. I may take on an additional role to support him so that he can get to that next level, or so that we can get to the next level, both of us, because I believe that that's what's necessary, right? Because if he doesn't open up the door for me, I won't be able to lead in the way that I'm supposed to get to. But I'm also grateful for him whenever he does it. He doesn't have to, but I'm grateful. Right? Just like your homie, he didn't have to open up that door for you, but he did because he saw something in you. Now, as we land, then, I want you to, give my audience some truth that you have learned about entrepreneurship that they won't get from reading a book, but also a truth scripturally that you've learned, right? Like, so for example, for me, what I've learned about entrepreneurship, especially being a Christian entrepreneur, is that you eat what you kill, but you still wait on God to tell you what you need to be eating or killing. You can't go kill everything and be like, yo, I'm gonna eat all of this because you don't need it all. And so I'm learning that, like, in entrepreneurship, you must eat what you kill, but you got to be selective on what you kill. So not everything's good for you, right? That's just in entrepreneurship. But like spiritually, I've also learned, a truth that is standing out now, that no weapon formed against me shall prosper, right? Now I'm learning that because of this, my body might get crucified, but his spirit won't. And so I have to, as an entrepreneur, when I face spiritual trials and these trials, I have to remain steadfast in my assignment, because you can kill my body, but you can't kill his spirit. And so his will, or his spirit, is going to accomplish the very thing that it set out to accomplish. And so what would you say, entrepreneurially, piece of advice that you can give them that they can't get from the book, and then also spiritually, what is something, the truth that you can give them?
I would say this. Every L is not a loss. Some things are a lesson. And so I would tell somebody to focus more on your lessons, write them down, express your feelings, put it away. Come back to it. Because in the process of you writing down all of your lessons, there's another lesson to learn within what you just wrote. You got to go back and review what you wrote. You have to review how you felt, because what you felt in the situation is maybe not how you see it 3 months from now. 3 months from now, you have a clearer vision of like what you want to do and what you're trying to say. So the things that you said then are only with the knowledge you had then. You maybe have grown in those 3 months. So don't take it as a loss, it's just a lesson. But focus on your lessons, and focus on your lessons more than your wins. Because your wins are just wins. But people don't really go back and watch much film on their wins. They usually go back and watch film on their losses.
Yeah, that's good. So then, thank you for that entrepreneurially. Now on the spiritual tip. So give us a truth that that will stick out to them, that you are probably, that you have learned as a Christian.
That I'm learning as a Christian.
Or Christian entrepreneur.
Yeah. This is what I will say. When you pray to God and ask Him for things, and to ask Him, just make sure that you're ready to receive those things, but also don't shortchange yourself asking for less than what is the desired totality of what you really want. Make sure that you're willing to put in the work to get it, but don't shortchange yourself telling God that you want this. Don't just tell God you want this when you know that there's a greater thing that's really a bigger concept. But you just say, I want to just get God, just get me here, and then we're going to get... No, tell God you want the whole thing, and tell Him to give you the steps to get to all those different things.
That's good. So, family, thank you for journeying with us as we heal out loud, take up space, and speak truth. We are live, well, not live. We release every Tuesday at noon, right? So tune in every Tuesday at noon. Also, on Mondays, we have our Take Up Space series, right? This is where I practice self-disclosure to help you as holy hustlers to go from where you are to, take up space in your lane as entrepreneurs, but also as Christian entrepreneurs. So thank you for journeying with us, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
Get your 5 loaves of bread up and
come on
follow
now.
Christ.
For sure. Peace.